To be honest, I spent about $70,000 on CE courses in 2 years. Hi, my name is Adriel William, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you how I was able to pay off my dental school loan in about 2 years of time. I graduated in 22 December, so my career started at January of 2023, and now it's approximately 2 years, January of 25. And as you watch this video, all my dental school student loan has been paid off. The number one thing I'll tell you, on average, people who were graduating with me, we were coming out with a student loan of somewhere about 250 to 300K at that time, depending on how you live. Along with that, if you're thinking that I had some family member or somebody paying off for my student loan, no, that's not the case. I'm managing my own financial situation. Yes, there are a lot of people praying for me. I'm glad. I'm really happy and grateful to them, but when it comes to the financial aspect, it's mainly God who's helping me out understand the system. The next thing is, if you're thinking, I don't own a practice, I work as an associate, and if you think I am a very frugal and careful and diligent immigrant who take care of his money very carefully, I don't. I bought a Porsche 911 even before I paid off my dental school loan. I mortgaged a $500,000 house even before I paid off my student loan, which is not very smart because cars are a liability. If you're thinking about one, always remember houses are an equity, they are a good business. But when it comes to car, they lose their value, they are a liability, they can get destroyed, they can get damaged. So they aren't very smart moves. I knew it, but I still did it. So I'm going to talk to you about 5 things that might help you understand the business aspect, the taxes system better. These are just journal information that might help you create better understanding. Number one thing you want to know is that the whole dentistry is a business. You're being taught to be a doctor, you're being taught biology, how to deal, treat, occlusion, and everything. But by the end of the day, on an island surrounded by sharks. And when I call sharks, these are businesses which is surrounding the dentistry, the insurance system, the lawyers, the corporates. So you have to learn to deal with the sharks. You have to become a businessman. The number one thing I did when I graduated, I went in for a job which was paying me more, but I had to work my butt off, longer hours, more time, uh, because I wanted to learn more. I wanted to learn bigger procedures and I had to take risks. And as soon as you make a little bit more money, start investing in big C courses. You want to think of yourself not as an employee, as a person, but think of yourself as a business. You, as an individual, are an equity firm. You're a company. Invest on your own self. I hired coaches. I will tell you, to be honest, I spent about $70,000 on CE courses in 2 years, and I'm planning to invest more. I got my sedation license so I can sedate people. I got to learn how to do implants, how to do sinus grafts, ridge augmentations, even though I might not be doing every procedure every month, but even paying for them and getting those bigger courses taught me to be brave. And when you're brave, you get opportunity to work with people who who are doing bigger stuff. So when I started doing these courses, started showing interest in sedation, I started to get opportunities and job positions where these things were happening, so my production was going up. So treat yourself like a business, hire coaches, take big C courses, be risky. And I am not saying be risky in people's mouth, be risky with your financial term, that you're willing to go out, attend courses, and do the things which other people are not willing to do. That's one of the most important thing. One other thing you need to understand, a lot of immigrants who are coming in, they are thinking we will save every penny, every dollar, we will only eat very carefully and pay off our loans. You can do it. I've tried it back when I came here in 2016 in my masters, being very frugal. And I know people are worried about their visa status, we might go back home. I understand all of that. But you need to understand, whatever got you from 0 to 50 won't help you get from 50 to 100. So your mindset before you get into a dentist school was different. It's totally fine to save and worry about pennies. But now, at this point, once you get into dentistry, rather than about saving pennies, think about creating dollars. Think about how, rather than spending your intention and time about how I can cut down costs, think about how can I create more value in my services, in my personal life, and make myself more expensive. One of the things I did is not only was I investing in my clinical aspect, I was also working on my YouTube channel. I made some other investments that were helping me generate a little bit of amount along with it. So rather than thinking about cutting down cost all the time, I think when you were not in dentistry is fine, but once you come into dentistry, try to think how I can create more value. And it's not just about taking C courses or taking coaching. The other thing is creating contacts for yourself. And sometimes to create contacts, you need to have some good things. You need to know how to communicate well. You need to, people like to hang around with people who are presentable. There's a reason I now drive a Porsche because it gives me access to people, to resources, to meetings, to clubs where on average person won't get in. And that was one of the key thinking as a businessman, that there are certain places, certain things that get you access to things. And it's a big investment, but it helps you get certain things done. And the key thing I'm saying up here, don't think like a student anymore. Think like a businessman. Look at the bigger picture, how I can grow. Because when you're with the influence of big people or rich people, or I won't even say rich, wealthy people, you'll start to understand how they think and how they take actions. And that's very important. The next thing I'll say is that one thing you want to understand in US is the tax system. All the people who hired you, who are running businesses, are not wealthy because they work longer hours than you. They are wealthy because they understand the tax system. Now you might say, I don't own a business, my visa doesn't allow me to own a business. Well, you don't need to own a business right away, but what you can do, if you understand the tax systems, you can negotiate with these people. And one of the things I told, and one of my employer didn't agree, and I later on quit the job. I said, I'm going to take the C courses, and you should be paying for it, and you can take it out of my pay, uh, pre-taxes. Just cut off the money, just pay for me. And they weren't agreeing, so I kind of thought about going away from there. But once you know, and these aren't illegal loopholes, these are totally legal things. You can always ask your employer, because a lot of your pay, in your pay, taxes are deducted. So you ask them that you pay for my C courses, you take it out of my salary, and then you pay me, and I pay taxes on that. So you can always negotiate that in your deals as well. The other thing I'll tell you is that along with understanding the tax system, there are a lot of other things going on from a government or the banking aspect. For example, doctors can actually, and dentists can get physician loan when you're buying your first home or your primary house. So that way you don't have to pay the down payment. You can actually just buy a house and you don't have to pay any down payment. And rather than paying rent, you can buy a house. Now, you have to be very careful, because if you're going to sell that house in 1 year, you're going to have a loss. And if you buy a freaking mansion, which is very big, then the maintenance costs, the gas bills are very high. So you want to be very careful with your investment. And sometimes people say if you buy a house before you buy a practice, then you don't get loan for your practices. That's also a thing. The banks look at your, they call it earning to loan ratios. They also look at that. But by the end of the day, if you take loan and you're paying it at a steady speed, the banks love you. The credit system loves you. One of the things I've learned from my coaches is that when banks are seeing to, when you go to them for a loan, for a business loan, for a clinic, they like to see if you had previous loans, a student loan, something like a car loan, and then they see a house loan. If they see if you have these big tickets, these loans on you, and you've been paying them, so that shows that you have a good credit history, then they are willing you to give you a bigger loan for your business. And then they give you a bigger loan to buy a yacht or maybe buy a plane one day. But I'm just saying that's how the banking systems computer work. And I actually had to pay a lot of money to actually understand these systems. But that's one way to look at things and have a better understanding that this is all a game, and the more knowledge you will have, the better you will be able to play with the system. The last thing I'll tell you, and this is very, very, very important, more important than strategies. uh, I think you need to start to keep a goal setting. You need to keep a journal. One of the key things I'm trying to tell people in this new year in 2025 is that you want to do goal setting where you keep a daily journal. You want to write down your goals, how you look at your life in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years, and maybe you can invest in SP 500, which is a stock market thing. You keep investing small amounts, $100 a month, $100 6 months, but it keeps compounding, and over time it helps you save money. So that's one thing. 401ks are something where your employers pays in, and you can read on Google about these things. But the key thing I'm saying is the goal setting part is very important. You want to keep a daily journal. You want to draw or map your goals where you want to be in life. And personally, to be honest, you might be thinking, oh, Adriel is a dentist and was doing surgery, and now he's talking about money. But to be honest, I've done a lot of different things in my life. I was a very good dancer back in my PDS time. I was a good basketball player. I've done different jobs. I've taught high school kids for a while. But one of the things I've learned when I came to US, that as a grown ass man, as a grown up guy, if you're broke, it's not a good place to be at. And then I realized that if God is giving me a gift or a blessing, and I actually want to give back to some people. I have a dream that there are certain people in my life. If I get the opportunity to cross paths with them, I should be able to give back to them something. Because at that time of life, my pockets were empty, or maybe I didn't had the capacity to give something back to them. And for that, I need resources. And once you have those dreams and motivation, that why are you doing this? And for me, the next thing is, once I figured out how to do this, I can share with my students, with the people watching these videos, so that they can walk towards financial freedom too. And I think being financially free and then be able to help people around you is a very comforting place. But obviously, I will tell you one thing: you want to write down your goals where you want to discuss about your financial situation, your academic situation, your family life. But along with that, you also want to write down about your health, because I might be able to pay off this loan, do learn a lot of procedure, do risky stuff, but everything has a price to it. And I felt like the last 2 years where I was working my butt off, running the YouTube business, managing dentistry as well, and I hope to continue to do this. I have to take care of my health, because otherwise, there's a lot of stress when money is involved, and there's a price to it. And these are some of the key things a lot of people won't tell you. But I'm I just want to share this with you, because when you get old, these are the things that will be very important to you. So writing those goals, being grateful for what you have. I think my life changed a lot. I was able to deal with a lot of traumas and stuff, and I started to gather more gratitude for the things I experience in my life, the things I got. I think that kind of changed a lot of things. Even gratitude for the people who were with me for a very short period of my life, but the things my teachers taught me, the things my father taught me, friends, and these were very important for me. And being in that state of gratitude has somewhat helped me achieve these goals. And I hope this video helps you. Do hit the like button, do subscribe to the channel. I'm going to post another video up here which you can watch. And if you need coaching with your CAAPID, which I do with the fellowship thing, where I help you with preparing for your SOPs, resumes, interview preparation, supplemental application for the CAAPID and applying to dental schools. If you need help with that, reach out to me. My number is in the description, and hopefully I'll see you in a more meaningful video. Thank you.